Hello, thanks for tuning in to another video. This week we're going to talk all about house sitting. So house sitting is where people need someone to come and look after their home while they are not there. There's many reasons that people get a house sitter in, and there's many reasons that other people like to come and look after people's homes. So there's many benefits for both the homeowner and the house sitter. So as a house sitter, the main things that you would need to do or be expected to do, and is very dependent on the home you're sitting and the people that own the home and what their needs are, but regular things are feeding pets, watering plants, mowing lawns, taking rubbish in and out, collecting mail, just those regular things that you do in a normal home. And it also doesn't cause attention to the fact that the homeowners are on holiday. A lot of the time, the people that are looking for someone to look after their house have animals and pets. There's a big benefit for people that do have pets and are looking for a house sitter. If they secure a house sitter that they get along well with and is good with pets, they can know that their pet is being looked after. They don't have to put it in a kennel or at a pet sitter or anything over that period of time. The pet gets to stay in its own home and it's in its own yard, its own kennel, gets its normal food, and it's in the same area. It's really familiar. So a lot of times if you have a high anxiety pet or an older pet, they're much more comfortable in their home. And a bonus for the homeowner is that other than asking someone to come and feed the pet if they were to go away and not get a house sitter, the only other option that they really have to know that they're being taken care of is putting them in a kennel or something, where you've got more costs and more stress on the animal. As a house sitter, because you're doing all those things, you also get the use of the home, you get that space, you get the use of electricity, Wi-Fi, using the washing machines, having somewhere to park and clean out your car, all that sort of stuff. So to find a house sitter or to find somewhere to actually house sit, there's a few different ways you can do it. There's a few groups on Facebook, and there's also a few websites where you can go on and actually make a profile, and then you can see and contact homeowners in the different areas that you'd like to be. Usually for a house sitter on different websites, you have to pay a fee to actually be able to do that. But if you're a homeowner that wants someone to come in and look after your home, it's completely free. So a lot of the time people will post their home looking for a house sitter on a multiple amount of sites to try and find someone and then go through their applications from there. Whereas if you're a house sitter, you're going to want to find a website that is worth paying your annual fee for, so you get the value out of your money and the ability to find houses and house sits in the areas and the types of ones that you need and would like. So personally, we are members of some Facebook pages that are house sitting Facebook pages, but our house sits have come from our membership on the website Aussie House Sitters. Aussie House Sitters is a website where the house sitters do need to pay an annual fee. When you've paid that fee, you are able to contact house sitters. They can see your profile, they can see any reviews from previous house sits, you can say a bit about yourselves, put some photos and things up like that, and you can contact back and forwards in regards to trying to secure a house sit. Also, you can put attachments. So in ours, we have attachments for pet sitting. I did pet sitting before we left for our trip, so I've got some attachments to my reviews from that to show that I have experience with pet sitting. You can attach like police checks and things like that, just to show the homeowners that you are trustworthy. A lot of different type of people that do look for house sits. There's some people that do house sitting full time and they just find it works well for them to jump from house sit to house sit, move around. That means they've got basically no accommodation expenses. They just secure back-to-back bookings. Other people use it to travel. You can actually do it worldwide. There's people that travel the world doing house sitting. There's people that look for them just to go for holidays, or it's great for traveling because you can get to experience different areas, but you can also have, you know, basically free accommodation while you're there. So house sits can last a variety of lengths. Some can be as little as 1 day or night, and they can range from 6 months to even a year, depending on people's situations. The average is a few weeks, but there's many variations in the length of time, and then of course the expectations would vary depending on the length of time that you're actually in the house sit. So in regards to sleeping situations, as always, it comes down to the actual homeowner. Most people have a spare room, so they usually will do up the spare room for you and have everything there that you need, linen and all that sort of stuff. If a certain home just has sort of like their main bedroom and not really the space, or you don't really feel like sort of sleeping in their bed, we actually will just still sleep in our tent and just use the home during the day. And sometimes that's really a bonus for the homeowners because they're there and someone's at the home, but you're not sort of in their bed and all that sort of stuff. So that's something else to consider. It does come down to how the people treat their animal, whether they've got an outside dog or an inside dog, or 4 inside dogs, or if the dogs sleep in your bed, sort of things like that. So it's very particular, and it really is down to sort of meshing well with the homeowner, them knowing what's expected of you and you being happy with what's expected of you as well. In regards to supplies and things like that, we basically bring everything that we all need and take everything of ours out of the home afterwards. We try to use mainly most of our stuff while we're in the house so that we don't disrupt or have to use the homeowners' things. But many times the homeowners are just so gracious and like really giving. Every single house sit we've gone to, they give us like a bottle of wine, and you know, they give us towels and say, you know, eat any of the food that's in their home. Basically they're very, very giving. Yeah, very, very inviting, and most of the time if they're gone for a couple of weeks, they're going to be happy for you to eat any fruit or anything like that that's going to be going bad anyway. Usually it's included. They're happy for you to use their Wi-Fi, their electricity, do loads of washing, use Netflix, use the air conditioners, you know, wash your car with the hose. All that sort of stuff is fine. If you were in a lengthy house sit where you were using a lot of that stuff, it might be a little bit different, and they might want you to contribute to those costs. So it's just about understanding that before the house sit takes place. Again, it's up to the homeowner. We like to just make that effort to show that we really appreciate having the home and making it nice and inviting for the homeowners when they actually get back. As I said before, a lot of the homeowners will leave a bottle of wine or something like that. Over Christmas, we got given a bottle of wine, some beer, like some muffins, lollies, all this sort of stuff. And so that's what we like to do as well. We like to give the homeowners things for when they get back. So coming into a clean home, having a bottle of wine or something there to say thank you, a little letter. We usually write something just to say thanks. And in this current house that we're in, it's actually in a beautiful location of the water, so we actually took up the drone and did a few drone shots and like some video and stuff and put it together for them on a little USB. So just those little things that show that you appreciate having the home, as well as they appreciate having you there looking after their home. some people do actually do house sitting as like a business, and other people do actually get paid or expect to be paid for their house sitting duties. The majority of people don't get paid to do it. It's just a fair swap for services. So people are happy to have someone looking after their home and in return provide you their home and their things to be able to use while they're away. And I think honestly it's pretty fair to have that swap. They're both benefiting hugely by having that happen. The other thing that you can also do is, and I did this before we left, is pet sitting. So there's a few websites out there. I mainly use the website Mad Paws, and I set up a profile for pet sitting from my home. And when we left, I kept it active, but I just moved it to the places that we're actually going to be. And then if someone's looking for someone to look after their pet in their home, they can actually search and it'll come up. If we're in the area, will pop up. And I just have a little profile there saying that we're traveling pet minders and that we can look after the pets in the home if they're going away. And we've had many people coming through asking if we can do this and that, and you can actually put a rate on there. And we like to put it actually quite low, because having a house that we can go to us while we're traveling is quite worth it. So we don't really seek out doing it for payment, but it's another way you can get that traffic through and maybe secure some house sits that weren't advertised as house sits, someone just looking for good care for their pets while they're away. On the pet sitting websites, it's very similar to the house sitting websites in regards to the fact that you can see reviews and profiles and things like that of the people that are there offering the service. So it's a really good thing just to check that they're reputable people, but it's also good when you start getting good referrals back and recommendations and reviews, and you've got photos and things up. It helps people to trust you, and it's easier to get those house and pet sits in the future. So the main advantage for us personally house sitting is that we have a base in an area that we're in. So we like to look for house sits that suit us. Mainly we have a dog. So a lot of other places will have pets as well, and it just is up to them if they want to have you in their home, but also bringing your pet if they've got pets as well. Some pets don't get along well with others, but we just basically put a little alert on our Aussie house sitters profile to let us know when there's any pet-friendly house sits coming up in the areas that we're looking at over the few months, as we know ahead of time where we're thinking we're going to be. So the main benefits for us when we actually secure a house sit is having a home in an area that we know we're going to want to be and explore. Usually if it's pet friendly, they obviously already have somewhere that's safe for animals to be. So we know that if we want to go out and do anything during a day, we can actually leave Scout in a safe, secure environment while we do that, which for us is worth so much, because if you're traveling full time, you don't just have a yard that you can leave your dog in. You have to actually schedule, plan ahead, and book someone to look after your pet. So that's huge just in itself. Usually if they've got other pets, it's a great opportunity for our dog to play with other dogs, because he's really friendly and it's good at socialization and like wears him out and all that sort of stuff. It's a great refresh, so we can actually like clean everything out of the car, we can wash everything, we can clean the car, we can just, you know, have showers, reset, and just relax a little bit. Because we travel with our tent, it's nice to just have an indoor area where you can sit, a lounge room, watch some TV. A lot of the time we find if we're camping for long periods of time, we just get, and sometimes in busy areas, and we get a lot of people parking quite close to us and we can hear them all the time, and you just don't really have that privacy. It gives you that bit of a break where you know you've got that privacy in the home, and if it's bad weather or whatever, you've just got that little bit of space that's your own, that's a controlled environment, which is really, really nice. The other added thing is it saves you so much money. So when we're traveling, we're obviously paying for fuel because we're moving, but we're also having to pay for campsite fees and things like that. We don't have to, but we like to stay in campgrounds every so often that have showers and power and things like that for editing and all that sort of stuff. So for a say 2-week house sit, even if you were to pay just $10 a night on a campsite, you're saving so much money every single night because it's basically free. Yes, you do pay for an annual membership fee for the databases, for the websites to actually secure those house sits. But in example of the one we've paid for, which is Aussie House Sitters, it's $84. Well, it's actually $74 if you get referred. You can get it $10 off, and that also gives the person that referred you $10 off their next year's membership fee. So say $74, that's like less than one night in an Airbnb or a pet-friendly motel. So it pays for itself like that. We had this house sit over Christmas, New Year, which is like a very, very busy time for camping. And it's very expensive if you're looking for a caravan park. So it would have cost us so much. It was 2 weeks worth of free accommodation, a whole house full of everything you're ever gonna need. So for us, it's just a massive, massive benefit. It's invaluable basically. I couldn't really even put a number on how much money it would be worth to us to have this if we were to pay for it. So I've put together a few tips about house sitting. If you're interested in doing it, the things I think would really, really help if you're looking to get into it. So first of all, you're probably not going to want to do it if you don't love animals. You've really got to expect that you're going to be looking after other people's pets and actually enjoy that, because if you don't, you're not really going to enjoy house sitting. The majority of house sits include looking after pets. As an example, this one here has a 10-year-old cattle dog, and they've got geese and chooks, and then there's gardens and things that need to be watered. So if you're not into looking after things, it's probably not for you. But if you are, it's great to show your enthusiasm for looking after people's pets and all that sort of stuff. The second thing would be, as I said earlier, actually using a house sitting website such as Aussie House Sitters. There's Mind a Home. There's one that's particularly geared towards families, people with children. So have a look around and see what one sort of suits you. We've found that Aussie House Sitters has like a huge database of homes, and you can actually view them first before paying the money to sign up. So if there's a few there that you're actually interested in, then you can go, okay, I'm gonna pay for a membership, instead of having no idea what's on the website, paying and having nothing that's sort of gonna be something that you're gonna wanna house sit. Next thing would be making a really great profile. So if you've got information about yourself, if it's yourself and your partner, or yourself, your partner and your kids, or your dog or whatever, have photos, have a big lot of information about who you are, where you're from, why you're looking for house sits, and where it is you want to house sit. You can also put up a video. I put up a little link to our social media, and say if they're interested they can have a look at that, because it shows sort of who we are and all the things we do. It gives sort of like a personality behind the profile, which we've found helps a lot. If you put that effort in, it really helps for a homeowner to see if you're someone that they're going to want to trust with their home. Another tip, when you do have your profile and everything up, if you do have time, if you say like us and wanting to travel but you've got plans and you know you're not going to be traveling for X amount of time, if you do all those steps first and actually do a few house sits prior to leaving the area, then you're going to be a few steps ahead, because you're already going to have a few reviews and experience doing that. As an example, we paid for our membership like 18 months before we left and did a few house sits in our local area, sort of within an hour from our home. And we then we're able to have photos of the homes that with references from the homeowners that are public on the website, so that people can see the reviews and see that you've done it before, so they're more trusting and know that you're familiar with the process and happy and trustworthy to look after somebody else's home. Doing it just around your hometown and getting that little bit of a head start in regards to reviews and being a trusted house sitter is very worth it. The next thing is, of course, being a good house sitter. So going to that little bit of extra effort to clean the home, spend time with the pets, take photos and things of like things that are happening. So if we're looking after a house that has pets, we'll send pictures of their pets, you know, going for walks or playing in the yard, so they know that their home's being well looked after. When they get back, walking into something that's nice and clean, a thank you note, all that sort of stuff is going to be a pleasant experience for them, and they're going to want to recommend you to other people. So I feel like if you put that effort in and be a great house sitter, it's going to really be rewarding for you to be able to get more and more of them and be able to choose the ones you really want to do. And the other thing would be to turn on alerts. So in Aussie House Sitters, you can actually go and choose an alert function that will send you an email immediately when something comes up that is a new house ad for your search criteria. So say you were looking for somewhere in New South Wales that accepted pets within a certain postcode. If it fills that criteria, you'll get an email straight away, so then you can be one of the first people to respond if it suits you. That's a very easy way to be able to secure sits that suit your certain criteria. So I hope that's given you a bit of information on house sitting in general. We, as I said, we find it absolutely brilliant. It's a great idea, and I'm glad it's super popular like it is today. There is a lot of demand for it, so sometimes a homeowner will say that they've had just an influx of people, so getting in early is definitely recommended. But there's always different people in different situations, so even if it was fully flooded, the market was flooded for it, there's always that demand. People are always going to have emergencies. They're always going to want to go on holidays and have pets and things at home that need looking after. So it's a great idea. We've done it quite a few times while we've been traveling, and we'll probably do it a few times before we get home as well. And we've been astonished by how organized people are. We'll get laminated pages of, you know, pets, garden, water, all this. It's crazy, and it's really helpful because you know what's expected, and if you've got a question of how to reset the oven, all the information's there. So as always, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. We just thought we'd share this with you. We think it's absolutely wonderful, and encourage others, if you're looking for house sits, to just definitely get out there, follow some of the things that we've given as a guide to help. And if you've got any other tips, definitely let us know. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye.